Hi, I'm Omer from Audio Guitars, and you're gonna learn something today. So today we're going to speak about the three main, very important components in an electric guitar. Actually, in every guitar. There are the woods, the pickups, of course the body, the neck, headstock, but there are three components that are crucial in order to have the best guitar, playable guitar. Doesn't matter if it's a custom guitar, doesn't matter if it's a cheap guitar, you need to do this right. And here are the three things. So the first thing would be the bridge. The second thing would be the frets and the neck, of course, which comes together. And the third thing would be the nut. But today we're going to discuss only about the frets. I don't want to overextend this video. Next time, the part 2, we're going to talk about the bridge. And part 3, we're going to talk about the nut. So today we're going to talk about the frets. And when I say frets, there's a lot of things that involve in achieving good fretwork, and I think it's probably the most important thing in a guitar, the frets. Doesn't matter if you have like the best pickups and the best woods and the guitar construction is great, but if the frets weren't leveled correctly and weren't set it in the neck properly, and basically you have a bad fret job, then the guitar would be non-playable or play bad. And you will feel it in the playability, you will feel it in the when you bend strings, you will feel it when the guitar doesn't sound well. The notes won't be accurate. You know all the problems that we as a player know to address, and we can feel as a player, we don't feel any of the other things like tone wood or the shape of the guitar or anything like that affecting the tone. I mean, some of us can discuss it, give or take, like arguments about does wood affect an electric guitar. But the main thing that we can all agree is your guitar playable? Is your guitar play well? Does it sound good? And for that, most of the time, 99% of the time, is the setup. And the setup goes from the nut through the frets and the bridge. So fretwork. Something one must understand that frets, when the luthier does the fretboard, the groove for these frets must be accurate, not in a way that the groove is but I'll give example for the railway. The railway of a train, even roads and bridges, if you take good close look, you will see that it's actually not connected together from part to part. They have grooves inside. They have groove in the concrete. They have groove in the bridges, and the reason is because at summer the material likes to expand, and at winter it likes to contract. And if they weren't doing this groove, then what happened is the train would go off the off the rails because it will expand, and the two if it weren't the exact groove there, then the two parts will just rise up and create a problem for the train. Same with the roads, same with the bridges. So they do it on purpose. They do the groove so it can expand and not touch each other, but still have enough room to expand or contract. And the same thing goes with frets, because frets are different material than wood. The frets made of metal, stainless steel, or silver nickel, doesn't matter. And the wood itself is wood, and they contract and expand in different percentage, which makes the fret pops out if it's not set it correctly. And that's why we also glue the frets in. So we start with this, and we must do it right from the beginning, otherwise just problems in the future. So the next stage would be to level the fretboard. If the fretboard is not straight and you're starting off from a board that has radius, incorrect radius, it's not sanded straight, then when you put the frets in, you'll get different heights. And when you level them, you will lose a lot of material from the frets, and eventually you can end up with perfectly level frets. But first fret can retain its outmost material, like most of it. The last fret or the middle fret won't have enough material, and the next luthier who's gonna grab your guitar and want to level it won't be able to do so because there are no fret left there, no material to work with. So we want to start with a really good basis for the fret. So the fretboard must be straight. So this is the first rule. Next, when we put the frets, since we're all human, we tend to, if you don't have a machine, and even if you do have a machine, wood is different. When you press the frets, you press in a different level of pressure, and you might put one fret deeper than the other, and then you create a problem. So this is why I like to put 3 frets and check them with a rocker. If one is sticking out, the middle one, of course, then I will press it a little bit toward the inside, a little bit more power, so it's all level. So I'm starting from, I have a starting point that gives me all the frets leveled, and then when I need to send them, like level them with a leveling beam, then I don't have to do much because it's already in the right position, the right height. There's no much difference between them, and there's nothing much left to do other than just take just a tiny bit off the frets to level them. Because even a thousand of an inch or a millimeter, depends where you are in the world, will affect the playability. And by that I mean if you got a fret sticking out or just like unleveled in a certain point, then you got buzzing all over the guitar. Because when you press a string and it meets the next fret, if that fret is higher than the one you're pressing on, you'll get buzz. You'll get that buzzing sound that we all want to eliminate. So this is very important, to press the frets in the same pressure every time and actually check that every fret and corresponding fret is at the same level. Now, after you finish that, you would like to mark the frets and then leveling it with a leveling beam, something straight. Can be a leveling beam you buy at StuMac or any other luthier supply store. It's not sponsored by any means. And you can use a wooden, if it's straight enough, a wooden beam. And the point is, you need to level the frets and make it straight all the way through. And another thing you want to check is that you did not apply any pressure on the fretboard while pressing the frets, because once you put frets in the fretboard, you're actually pressing pressure into the wood that want to make it go like that. When you put one fret after the other, you're pressing things into the wood that creates tension and make it bend like so. And you don't want to do that. That's why it's crucial to do the grooves accordingly, so it's not tight. It has the room to expand. And before you want to level the frets, you want to check again that the fretboard is straight and didn't warp because of the frets that were inserts. And then you send them down. It's not a tutorial, but you need to understand the basics of it. You send them down, so the marker will go, and then you check with a rocker again to see if anything is higher than the corresponding frets next to it. And then once these frets are leveled, it's time to polish them and make them nice and smooth for playing. And you'll see online all these very trendy thing about doing the half sphere ends for the frets. Now, I know it's nice, it looks amazing, but it's not a necessity. You can do them by like diagonal. You can do all sorts of, I saw all sorts of solutions to these methods, but it's not something that it's a must. It's nice to have, which is cool. The thing with frets, you don't want them to stick out from the fretboard after 1 year of playing, because again, the wood changes and the metal is metal, and they want to change in a different percentage, so the frets might sprout out from the side of the fretboard. When the fret is set in a blind slot on the fretboard, then the edges of the fret won't stick out. Then it's important to do the fret ends so it doesn't stick out of the fretboard. Do a round over and everything feels nice, smooth, and has enough room to expand and stick out, and still the player won't feel the fret cutting the fingers on the edge. So this is a thing. These are the things for frets that you want to take care of. It's very important, and people usually don't realize it, how delicate work it is, because even if you can slide a piece of paper like a sticky note under the fret, that means the fret is high, and it doesn't matter if you send it down, it will pop again. It means it's not sitting right in the groove, it's not glued inside. And in that case, I'll just take the fret out and put a new one. If it's a tech guy, probably want to take all the frets out and level sand the fretboard and put new frets in. So for me, this is the part where a guitar is turned into a guitar, because it's pretty easy to build a guitar, an electric guitar, but it's hard to make it a musical instrument. And by musical instrument, I mean it's hard to make it play right. It's hard to make it play so the player will feel natural with it, like extension of the body, and not fighting it, and not trying to make it play all the time, try to make it play good all the time, adjusting it and changing the sound, changing the amps, changing the pickups. None of it really matters at the end. The instrument must be a playable musical instrument that has all the notes accurate, intonation is right, and the playability is comfortable and easy to play. And for me, this is the most important. Other than that, it's all design and fun stuff. Because let's face it, we love guitars, it looks sexy, it's fun, and it has this amazing power on our emotions that we cannot necessarily explain. But that's the beauty of it. And at the same time, it needs to function as a product. So I hope you learned something today. On the next episode, I'm going to talk about the nut, which is the second most important. And I think you will enjoy and learn some things which will help you understand your instrument better in the future. If you're a luthier, then by all means, you will feel free to comment if you have anything to add. I'm just trying to help and share my knowledge with the audience. So yeah, wait for part 2. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Help me grow the channel. Thank you.